welcome to the Savage Executive Podcast, where we lead with clarity, build with strategy, and multiply what matters. I'm your host, Steve Smith, and today's episode is all about people. Because let's be honest, you can't scale what matters without the right team around you. This is episode 5. Build your A team. Recruit, retain, and unleash talent. We are so glad that you are with us today, and thank you again for all the feedback that we've been receiving about the podcast. I hope that it is an encouragement to you. Feel free to share it with other leaders, and make sure you've subscribed wherever you get podcasts. This is a topic that we could talk about for literally hours, strategizing and developing and understanding how other people recruit great talent. But today we're going to give a framework to help you to understand how to build your A team. So let's start with today's Savage moment. You'll never build a great organization without building a great team. You've probably heard versions of that before, but it's more than a cliche. It's a reality. Whether you're leading a business, a nonprofit, a school, or a ministry, your impact is limited by the people you surround yourself with. Here's what I've learned. Great leaders don't just gather talent, they build teams. Teams that are aligned, empowered, and moving together in the same direction. So today, I want to walk you through 3 areas that shape how you build your A team. Number 1, recruiting with purpose. Number 2, retaining with intention. And number 3, releasing with clarity. But first, let me share a story from my own context. Several years ago, we were recruiting a key team member. The reason we were recruiting that team member is because we had recently lost someone in that position. They left fairly quickly, and it was a key position that is a very public role. As we were developing that job description and receiving resumes that were coming in, there were people that were eager to step up, and leaders were asking me on a weekly basis when we were going to have that role filled. But something was holding us back. We wanted to make sure that we were hiring the right person, not just a skilled person. What kind of person do we actually need for this team to thrive, not just survive? By pausing and slowing down, it helped us to recruit not based on urgency, but based on vision of where we were going. So we did. We slowed down, we clarified the when, and found someone who didn't just do the job, they have elevated the entire department. And that's the difference. Filling roles is easy. Building a team takes leadership. Let's walk through how to do that well. Number 1, recruit with purpose. Too many leaders recruit reactively. A need pops up, they race in to plug that hole. But your team deserves better than that. Your next hire shapes your next chapter. There are several things you should clarify before you hire. Role clarity. Can you clearly define the outcomes, not just the tasks, of this role? What does winning look like in the first 90 days, 6 months, or even a year? When you start with outcomes, you don't just attract people who can work, you attract people who can move the mission. So clarify the role. Also, culture alignment. Skills are teachable, culture is contagious. If someone's talent is strong but they can't buy into your values, they will chip away at your culture over time. In my context, we use values-based interviews to ensure that we have value alignments. Especially in a ministry context, we want to ensure that we say it this way: they will not be bad for the locker room. That tells me more than any bullet point or resume ever could. So ensure that you have role clarity, culture alignment, and then team fit. Don't just hire for the role, hire for the team. How does this person complement others that are already on your team? Will they add energy, not tension? Will they be synergistic with the rest of the team? If you're a business leader, consider having key team members interview final candidates, not just HR. If you're in ministry or education, invite multiple perspectives. It's not about getting consensus, it's about getting context. We oftentimes will have multiple people interview each of those final candidates. Sometimes it's over a meal, sometimes it's within office settings, sometimes it's going out to coffee. Hearing all of those perspectives gives us context so that we understand more of whether they will be a team fit. So number one, recruit with purpose. Number two, retain with intention. Getting people is only half the battle. Keeping them is where leadership really shows. People don't just stay for money, they stay for purpose, growth, and belonging. And here's how you lead all three. Purpose: do your people know why their work matters? Whether you're running a sales team or leading a kids ministry, your team wants to know their effort has impact. Don't assume they know. Tell the story often. Share wins, celebrate outcomes, connect their work to something much larger. Purpose, but also growth. What's their next step? Where can they stretch? I have found that young leaders want to know that they have the ability to continue growing within the organization. That's why we developed a leadership pathway to show the exact stages in which they can grow and how to get there. Growth doesn't always mean promotion. It could be cross-training, a conference, leading a project. High performers don't want to stagnate. They want to grow. Sometimes we think that somebody staying in our organization is a great thing. Well, if they're not growing, if they're not the best talent, then it may not be the best thing. We want to take our high performers and help them to understand that they can continue to grow, continue to elevate within our organization. We've learned that when we stop developing people, we start losing the best of them. Even when they don't leave physically, sometimes they check out mentally. So purpose, growth, but also belonging. Do they feel seen? Do they feel heard or valued? This isn't about snacks in the break room. It's about real connection. Do you ask for their feedback? Do you celebrate their strengths? Do they know that their voice matters in your organization? When people belong, they stay, even when things get hard. So, number one, recruit with purpose. Number two, retain with intention. And number three, release with clarity. The last part of building an A team is unleashing the people that you've invested in. It's great to recruit and retain talent, but you have to release. That means delegating with clarity, giving ownership, not just assignments, and trusting your people with meaningful decisions. A healthy team is a multiplying team. The more you hold on to every decision, the more you cap your growth. Great leaders build leaders, not just doers. Here's a question I ask often. What am I doing that someone else could do and should own? When you answer that question regularly, you create a team that doesn't depend on you for everything, but one that thrives because of the leadership culture that you have built. When we think about releasing with clarity, over the past several years, we went at hiring a little bit differently. Some of the best hires that we have for key leadership positions are already part of our team. And we want to ensure that we are developing those key leaders. We had a situation several years ago that the highest level of our leadership within our private school had stepped away. And instead of going out into the world and trying to find the right person to bring in, we looked internally. Do we already have the right people to lead our school into the next level of our growth? And we found that we did, and we began to develop them. It took a lot of time and effort, but the payoff has been outstanding. By developing people that are already built into your culture, that already buy into the core values of who you are, it can really help to lead the team into the next generation. And what we have found is the results have been staggering. Our school has continued to grow. Numerically, it's been strengthened culturally. So many different aspects have been strengthened. The rest of the team feels valued. And what we have tried to do so many times by hiring on the outside became exactly what we needed by hiring on the inside. A healthy team is a multiplying team. Here's your A-team challenge this week. Evaluate your team. Who's currently thriving? Who's underutilized? Who may be misaligned? Review your next hire. Are you hiring reactively or with purpose? What would an ideal candidate look like beyond just skills? Invest in someone this week. Meet with high potential team members and ask, what's one area you'd love to grow in? Then help them take a step. Number 4, delegate one thing. Look at your current load and hand off one task clearly and completely. Here's your savage takeaway for today. You don't build teams by accident. You build them on purpose, and you build them to multiply. Great teams aren't found, they're formed. And your next level of leadership depends on how well you build, support, and release the team that is around you. I would love to continue this conversation. And again, I know that this topic can be talked about for hours and hours. Best practices. We have an entire hiring grid that we use for making perfect hires or great hires within our organization. I would love to share more of those thoughts with you personally. If you want to reach out to me, my email is savageexecutive@gmail.com. savageexecutive@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to me or type a comment wherever. If you're on YouTube, type a comment and I'll get back to you. If you find me on Facebook or Instagram or X, I'd be glad to communicate with you there as well. And if this episode sparked something in you, take a minute to share it with somebody else who's building their own team. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you never miss an episode. And as always, stay sharp, lead boldly, and keep building what matters. And I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day.